tes. Tes. Main Genshin lại. Genshin em. Chill. Genshin and chill. Genshin chill. Kalian dulu guys. Event dulu. Wow. Halo. Ya gampang katanya. Itu kecil. Woi. Ya. Gampang kan? Gampang banget. Ini kan eventnya enak chill coy. Masih thumbnail mancing ya? What the hell, bentar. Coba ganti thumbnail cuy. Ntar ganti thumbnail aja, kita ganti thumbnail. Genshin. Pakai thumbnail kita hal. Dari ganti. Guys, jangan lupa yang nama misi bisa dapet ini loh. 3 menit gratis. Ini juga banyak pak. Oke. Jangan lupa ya kalian main. Gampang kok eventnya. Kayak adik gue yang kelas 1 SMA juga bisa. Ini ngapain cuy? Jadi kita habisin resin dulu gak sih? Resin itu udah penuh. Nah ya guys, gue mau pamer. Udah punya Furina. Dapat Furina di PT 11 cuy. Red on PT 11. Baik banget nih Hoyo first. Masih cukup deh kan cuy. Dapat buat koleksi. Hihihi, iya benar. Tahu sih kalau butuh ini aja kemarin kurang 1 anjing kemarin farm minion. Berak kurang 1. Misalnya lagi diri bentar, wait a minute, itu udah gede. Lagu kayaknya lagu chill aja.
Let's light it up. Nice and spicy.
Oh,
Teamwork is
bam,
teamwork.
snapshot.
Toast. Out of the frying pan.
Sampai pak 1.000 ternyata.
Time to go.
Udah mati cowok, what the hell.
Let's light it up.
Mati sama boba. Nah, semenjak update ini seru banget aja, gak usah ngerasain misi daily, kita bisa pakai reward stats point kalian, jadi kalian kayak nyelesain misi buru-buru bos, gak usah nyelesain daily, enak tinggal dulu itu udah kelar, gak usah bolak-balik, kecuali kalian udah mentok semua ya. Small wordnya udah level 100, udah nggak bisa ngapa-ngapain aja.
Benny.
Iya, akhirnya berjuang. Ding 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 ding. Sorry. Ding 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 ding. Wah, seminggu aja nggak ngerjain story, fokus grinding. Seminggu nggak. Terus chill banget, playlist Papariot. Excuse me.
I take it Mr. Fremonet's condition has stabilized?
Nggak bentang ya.
Of course. I wouldn't have left the infirmary otherwise.
I've been expecting those two, but might I inquire as to the purpose of your visit, Miss Siegewien?
I wanted to check up on Miss Clarion. How are you feeling?
Mostly fine, I think.
Muslim.
If you don't mind, I'd like to perform another quick physical exam. It'll just take a few minutes.
This just takes
All right.
few minutes.
Thank you for looking out for me. I'll
Alright.
take my leave for now then.
Well, want to explain yourself,
Well.
Risley?
Of course,
Of
but I'm not
course.
partial to the word choice of explain. How about
Explain.
enlighten?
Enlightenment.
Where should I
Pencerahan.
begin? How about you start by asking me any questions you have? You can start with whichever one you'd like to get answered the most.
Then Paimon will begin. Did you know about Lenny's goals from the very beginning?
No.
Tidak.
I just knew they were
Aku nggak
Fatui
tahu
operatives
kalau
sent to the
itu
fortress by the Knave.
sebenarnya ke benteng.
As
Jadi,
for their
aku
specific
lebih tahu
goals,
apa.
I only figured those out.
You managed to monitor and stay ahead of them even though you didn't know what they were trying to do?
They came here with ulterior motives.
Karena kelihatan
I'm quite
sendiri dengan
adept at
agenda.
discerning what
Aku
that kind
lumayan
of
mahir
behavior
membedakan
signals.
Orang punya udang buat
Initially, I thought their
Tentu.
goal was just to investigate Child's disappearance. Linny suggested that I had deliberately let him escape, but in truth, I didn't really do anything special to help or hinder him while he was here. Everything he did, from finding helpers to leaving this place. Of course, it's inevitable that the Knave would make a big deal out of her fellow Harbinger's unexplained disappearance. I'm also quite curious about where that Harbinger went, so I figured I might as well let the Fatui do their own investigative work. All I care about is the answer.
So you were hoping Lenny's group would just do your work for you.
You make it sound like that's a bad thing. Unfortunately, things didn't go as planned. I assume that Fremine has told you already, the ratio of primordial seawater around the fortress of Meripede is on the rise. The Forbidden Zone has always been Linny's target, and you got roped into that investigation after running into him. I began to intervene out of concern for your safety, and also to prevent the fortress from becoming entangled in more irksome matters.
Are the rumors true that you're also a former criminal?
Kamu juga mantan kriminal.
Why would you put it like that? Isn't
Kamu
staying
harus
here all day and
mengikuti
serving as the
Genshin.
manager of the fortress a kind of sentence unto itself? Another form of prison? I just happen to have some support from the rest of the inmates. That's all.
Tangan.
Oh, right. Paimon wanted to ask, who
Siapa yang
invited
minta
Clarence
kamu?
down here?
Me, of course.
Aku dong.
I paid her good mora to come down to
Lebih
the
banyak
fortress for
untuk
some
beli
field work.
sepeda taksi.
As a champion duelist, Miss Cloran could be considered to be an independent party. I needed to find an exceptionally capable person to help me get through the impending crisis.
And saving
No.
Fremine was part of that crisis?
You can think of it like that, yes. Credit where credit is due, that boy is quite adept at diving. Had conditions not been as hostile as they were, he probably would have found the missing That's not something you should be asking after.
Ah,
Neuvillette only asked you to investigate Child's whereabouts. All I need to prove to you is that the Forbidden Zone had nothing to do with the Harbinger's disappearance. That should be clear now that you've spoken to Fremine.
But we've already uncovered that there's something wrong with the infirmary, and we've answered a bunch of questions that you threw at us. Isn't it about time that you answer our last question in return?
You make a compelling case. Do you really want to know the answer that badly?
Yeah, Paimon really wants to know.
Even if the
iya,
truth may not be
Paimon
pleasant?
sangat kepo.
Follow me.
Follow me. Where we go?
Adventure time!
Wow. Ini pintu rahasia sih.
There's a hidden door here? And a whole basement behind it? Huh. You're pretty good at hiding stuff, Risley.
It seems you've forgotten just what kind of place the Fortress of Meripede is.
Ultra eh. Wih, galih.
Stand on the central plate.
Wait, is there a secret mechanism or...
Whoa.
Whoa! So, This is the forbidden
Jadi
zone?
ini toh beneran
Honestly,
gitu.
for a place so well hidden, Paimon sure doesn't see anything special. What a huge door!
There are 3 such isolation gates in total. Generally speaking, I'm the only one who's allowed to go inside, hence the name Forbidden Zone. Am I correct to assume you're going to run on back and tell your little Fatui friends everything?
Well, Paimon wasn't thinking of keeping anything.
Well, I'd advise you wait until you've seen the whole truth of this place for yourself before deciding whether or not to tell them.
Ada apa ya? Apakah ini tempat muter-muter lagi seperti World Quest?
So there's a switch on the side.
Sumer
Stand back.
Fonten.
Whoa! They all just went up one by one.
Wow. Apa tuh?
Go on, have a look.
Come on. Look. Ketiga, see the game. Saya akan klik depan.
I've been interested in what lies beyond that gate ever since I assumed leadership of the Fortress of Meripede. Of course, it would be unwise to recklessly open it, but it'd also be risky and negligent to simply ignore. The readings on that dashboard have not budged since the day when I first laid eyes on this place. But over the past year, the needle has crept upwards from its original position, likely because some parameter it's been tracking has changed, if only infinitesimally. Normally, I would have ignored it, but I happened to have some free time when I noticed it, so I investigated. Any guesses what the reading could be tracking?
Tekanan air.
Very reasonable guesses. I've
Tebakan.
considered both of those as well. Unfortunately, our dashboard is tracking something less ordinary. The temperature should vary with weather and climate changes, so for something that rarely shifts, the water pressure is more likely. We ran a few tests to increase the pressure from the outside, but the readings didn't change at all. Later on, a few more possibilities occurred to me, such as a potential connection with the primordial sea. I began to make a few preparations based on that hypothesis. Over the past few days, the needle has moved again. With that and the symptoms that Fremine displayed after leaving the fortress, I can now confidently conclude that the readings represent the concentration of primordial seawater in the seawater nearby.
The concentration of primordial seawater?
And that is precisely the problem. Yes,
Yes.
that's very likely.
But
It's very
forget
light.
about the two of us. Not even Novelette knows where the primordial sea could be, much less where we could find and plug a leak. Oh.
Oh.
Oh!
Seems like you've figured it out. I believe the primordial sea lies directly beneath this sluice gate. For some reason, the primordial seawater levels have risen significantly, and it's now very close to us. The indicators are now red. Although the gate still stands, some primordial seawater has already leaked out and mixed into the sea around us. If this continues,
Jika terus terang,
soon it will no longer be able to hold back the primordial sea at all.
What the fuck?
Yeah, you know what the legends say. If this place falls, then everyone in Fontaine will be turned into puddles in the span of a night.
Ya, seperti kata legenda, kalau tidak konten akan berubah dan genangan air dan satu malam.
But that's just too weird! Why would the Fortress of Meripede be built right above a sluice gate for the primordial sea? Who built this place anyway?
Your expression tells me you think this might be part of a vast, complicated conspiracy. To be honest, you might find the actual answer may be exceedingly boring. It's just that the secret of the Forbidden Zone had been long forgotten by the nation before I rediscovered it with my research. There's no single founder of the Fortress of Meripede in any traditional sense. What we know about its history has been left to us by the people who used to live here. When the previous Hydro Archon Egeria ruled the land, all convicted criminals from Fontaine were exiled. The people drove the criminals away like a wolf pack chasing away the banished.
Ketika John hadir terlalu ceria mengkritik semua penjahat di konten dijatuhi hukuman. Masyarakat mengusir para kriminal seperti dalam kawan yang sudah
The criminals received no sympathy of any kind from the people. They were exiled to the desolate seaside, where they experienced only pain, struggle, and the bone-chilling cold.
Tidak ada satu warga yang bersimpati kepada para kriminal. Semuanya diasingkan ke pesisir. Di sana hanya ada rasa sakit, kesusahan, dan haus.
Some of them began to repent and prayed to the Hydro Archon, asking if there was still anything they could do. The Hydro Archon took pity on them and said, "You may go guard my secret, deep underneath the waves."
Wow, beberapa akhirnya bertobat pada Archon, menanyakan apa yang bisa berlaku. Sang Archon mengasihi adik mereka dan berkata, "Jagalah rahasiaku yang tersembunyi di bawah bentong."
And so, leaning on the power of the Hydro Archon, they gathered underneath the sea and began to build a fortress. They became a community down there in the deeps, and over the years helped it to grow. As the number of exiles increased, more and more people joined the community. When the first group of exiles died, they left the yet unfinished fortress to their successors. The Hydro Archon continued to lend her support, allowing the fortress and what it stood for to continue growing ever larger. Before long, this dark underwater fortress became the sinner's only home. And with that, the people here stopped referring to the fortress as a prison. They saw themselves as repenting sinners who would regain their freedom once they had sufficiently redeemed themselves. But as time went on, people also realized that the fortress was a lonely place. Once they had gotten used to life here, they could no longer feel comfortable living in the overworld.
Wow.
Once they had finished serving their sentences, some people left and some others chose to stay. They'd find some idle position and let their withered souls fade away with the ancient secrets of the past. After many, many centuries, few people still remember the reason for the fortress's founding. Now they just see it as an integral pillar of Fontanian society, as the place where criminals deserve to be sent. Now and again, researchers manage to break one law or another and live out their days in the fortress. I learned all this from an elderly historian. Everyone else just thought he'd made it all up.
But now you know every part of that history is true.
Indeed. It's just as the prophecy says. If this gate fails, then everyone will be dissolved into the sea. To be frank, not really. But sadly, that hasn't stopped this prophecy from proving all too accurate. Prophecies are troublesome things. Just hearing one will create the first wave of panic. Seeing signs of it will bring about the second, and actually witnessing it in real time, the third. Let's go somewhere else. I want to show you something.
Apa yang akan dilihat Kun?
This is it.
This is it.
Your Grace, perfect timing. The results from our last round of experiments have...
Ini kan?
Wait, Jurier, he's not alone.
Huh? Lorvine and Jurier?
No need to panic, you two. I've already told them about our plan.
What? After you warned us not to tell a single soul about any of this?
I'm skeptical as well. Are you sure they are...
The results speak for themselves, don't they? These two may already know more than you could ever imagine.
All right then, if Your Grace insists.
They seem harmless enough, so I'll trust them for now.
Well, how about some reintroductions? This is Jurier, one of the highest-ranked researchers from the Fontaine Research Institute. He used to work under Edwin. I trust that you've heard of Edwin? Good. Saves me a bit of time explaining. Edwin's main areas of research were archaeum and gravimeters. As his assistant, Jurier is quite familiar with them as well. I hired him to be my technical consultant.
You want to blow up the fortress of Meribid?
Ah, what a lovely idea. I'm already imagining.
Gotta admit, I'm tempted as well.
Guys, focus! Focus!
Oke.
That taskmaster over there is Miss Lorvine, and is also one of my technical consultants. While Jurier used to be Edwin's assistant, she used to be Jurier's assistant.
Cheer.
Ooh, are they together?
Mereka jadian ya. Iya.
See, everyone keeps asking this question. Are you too sure you're not a couple and just using your work as a convenient cover?
Tuh kan semua orang menanyakan hal yang sama. Yakin kalian ini bukan pasangan? Kali kerja berdua.
Your Grace, I am not in a relationship with this man.
If I dated her, I'd officially be madder than Edwin.
Jeez, forget I said anything then. Follow me.
Follow me.
Whoa, there's another door that goes right up.
Your constant amazement makes it seem like the fortress can do anything.
But Paimon really thinks everything's super cool.
Well, let's spice it up a bit.
Bumbu
And
ya?
here you go.
Here. What the hell? Ini apa coy? Ini apa sih? Tiba-tiba ada raja Harry Potter.
What a huge
Kapal.
ship?
Jangan bilang nih referensi kapal Nabi Nuh. Banjir di fountain itu referensinya dari banjir besar Nabi Nuh. Jangan bilang ini Bahtera Nuh.
This is also a production zone that Paimon's never seen before. What's going on?
How much do you know about Fontanian history?
Not much at
Well, then maybe you haven't heard the story of ancient Lemuria.
Lemuria.
To give you a quick rundown, Fontaine used to be ruled by the Lemurian dynasty. According to legend, the Lemurian king Remus came to this land after being inspired by divine revelation and found the seer Sibila, who had taken on the form of a golden bee. Taking the golden bee with him and riding on a huge ship, the Fortuna, he
Wah.
created his nation above the surging waves.
Legenda mengatakan bahwa Remus sang raja Lemuria datang ke tanah ini setelah mendapatkan petunjuk dari Dewata. Dewata? Bali coy. Ada Indonesia coy. Ada Indonesia coy. Dia bertemu dengan Sibila, si perang. Dan itu mengambil begitu lebah. Lebah emas apa temannya lebah ganteng. Mereka naik Bahtera Fortune dan mendirikan suatu bangsa di atas ombak itu.
He called his nation Lemuria and used the Fortuna to incessantly search for new tribes and islands, calling on them to join his empire.
Bangsa itu dinamakan Lemuria. Fortuna digunakan tanpa henti untuk mencari suku-suku dan pulau-pulau yang kemudian diajak
There's
bergabung.
a ship in this story too?
Di cerita ini ada kapal itu.
Where there's water, there'll be ships. People believe that hope can always be found at the end of a voyage.
Di mana ada air, itu ada kapal. Orang dulu percaya bahwa harapan selalu ada di ujung layar.
Do you believe that too?
Did you believe it too?
To a point, I think. As you've already seen, I have a whole factory's worth of labor, materials, and technology at my disposal. Certainly can't hurt to give it a try. So the moment I began to speculate that the primordial sea might lie underneath the gate, I also began this project.
Wow,
Were you inspired by the legendary Fortuna?
kamu terinspirasi dari legenda Fortuna, ya?
Maybe. Fontanians
Maybe.
need something to hold on to cope with the impending disaster.
Nih, orang konten ada di dana yang
Were the workers to find out the truth behind this ship, riots would destroy the fortress faster than any catastrophe. As the fortress's administrator, I'd never make such a reckless call.
guys. Jangan bawa berita buruk. Aku tidak mau terjadi kericuhan. Sama kayak si berbenteng, aku tidak akan taruhkan.
Alright, that's enough talking for now. I'll need another 3 cups of tea to soothe my throat. Do you have any other questions? Seems like you're good. Come on, I'll take you back.
Wow.
I'll leave you here for now.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
No worries. But don't
Don't
forget,
worry.
it's up to you whether or not you want to share what you just saw. What you do from here on out will likely affect those 3 as well.
Hmm.
Yeah, we'll put a lot of thought into it for sure.
Great.
Great.
I look forward to what happens next.
Oh. Wih, detektif man. Rahasia Laut Biru. Pelajari sejarah dan budaya benteng Meropai. Tidak guys. Hati-hati sejarah. Asik. Bentar guys, kita ambil makan dulu ya. Ambil makan dulu guys. Ambil makan ya guys. Makan nasi goreng buatan mams. Wah, pedes. Cabai level 50 pedes banget gila.
Silly Billy Hilly Churl.
Pedes banget. Kali pekrit.
Race you! We're back!
Bebek.
Welcome back. Do you want a cup of tea?
How can you be so much like Risley, always drinking tea?
Huh.
Always thinking
Actually, now that you mention it, I just remembered something now. While I was sedated, I could still barely hear 2 people talking next to me. They were discussing everything, from the leaves to the water and even the teacups themselves.
Must have been Risley and Seishween.
Yeah, I heard 1 male voice and 1 female, so it should have been the 2 of them. They really were just talking about brewing tea.
I really can't make sense of this place.
So, Traveler, Paimon, were you able to learn anything from Risley?
Yeah, he explained everything. anything.
Very well. Then, would you mind checking your answers against my speculations? Yeah, I took the time to rest, so I'm feeling a lot more relaxed now.
Nobody else is around, and Miss Sijouin is also busy with something or other. So let's just talk here.
All right, then I'll posit my theories. I asked myself 3 questions. Firstly, why was Fremine affected by the primordial seawater? It was because he dove into the sea. My theory is, the long-lost primordial sea is probably very close to the fortress of Mirapede.
Ini bisa tahu ya.
Ooh, he's good. He got that right on the first try.
That's our Linny.
Secondly, Wriothesley's attitude changed dramatically during the course of our stay here. He ignored us completely at first, then suddenly roadblocked us. Why? I spent quite a long time thinking about this. If he has been monitoring the Fatui since the very beginning, he probably ignored us at first because he was hoping we could find Master Child for him. What's more, the Fortress of Mirapede is not part of Fontaine's court system, nor does it report to Udex Nervulet. Wriothesley is basically the king of a no-man's land. As long as the fortress doesn't do anything about Master Child's disappearance, Father can use it to pressure the Fontaine authorities. And while the 2 factions are pitted against each other, Wriothesley will be free to move between the parties of interest. If I had to guess, he probably has something that he's working on himself. It's likely related to the secret of the infirmary, but I just can't think of what it could be.
You're super smart.
Thanks so much. Then finally, there's the last question. If Wriothesley does have a plan, what could it be? All I know for now is that his plan probably has something to do with the changing nature of the seawater. He's even gotten Cloran to help him out. That can't be the full extent of what he's doing. There's probably a secret passageway behind the block in the infirmary, and there's something big in the fortress that most people here never get to see. He has a bargaining chip, and it could be important enough for Father to deal with him directly. I don't have enough information, so I have no idea what his chip might be. But let me guess. You have the last piece of the puzzle.
I can't believe it.
The sea will engulf everyone. Just like the prophecy said.
Could Wriothesley have wanted to meet Father to figure out a way to deal with this crisis? If you remember, I once mentioned that Father sees the House of the Hearth as her base of operations, and she truly wants to resolve the crisis. But how could Wriothesley have known that?
Or perhaps he didn't know and just wanted to bring Father over to his side, which could be why he said he just wanted to negotiate.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. I understand your concerns as well, Traveler. I'll figure out a way to pass this on to our father. No matter what, we're on your side. The 2 of you have already aided us far too much. We probably wouldn't be standing here right now if not for you. If you ever need anything else going forward, please come to the House of the Hearth at any time. Though you may not share the sentiment, after all that we've gone through together, the 3 of us basically see you as family now.
You have my gratitude.
Thank you for protecting
have
Winnie when
my
it really
gratitude.
mattered. And thank you for sharing the secrets of the fortress with us. We didn't think you were going to do it.
Why are you being so formal all of a sudden?
Given your strength, you might not need our help at all. But if you are ever in danger, we will try our best to protect you.
Thank you.
Aw, the sound of that makes Paimon feel all warm and safe inside. Paimon's hungry.
Oh, you've done so much already. Go get some food.
Alright, then we'll catch you guys another time.
Yuk kita makan yuk. Kantin bersama.
Huh?
It's time for dinner. Welfare meals now being served at the coupon cafeteria.
Come on, let's go pick up ours as well. Traveler Paimon, over here.
Over
Are you
here.
here for dinner too, Miss Sijwin? And I'm taking the opportunity to prepare Miss Cloran's dinner as well. Huh. You're right. She's actually sitting in the fortress cafeteria. What would you like to eat?
Lu mau makan apa?
Yep, you
boleh
can.
dulu.
I've already talked to our chef, Mr. Wolsey. It's all on me today, so you can get whatever you'd like.
Just panjang.
Me too! Don't forget Paimon! No problem. Just leave it to me. So delicious.
So delicious.
Paimon's so happy. Paimon wants to feast like this every day. Feeling full yet? How's the food? Delicious. I'm so glad to see you all so happy. Oh, see, the expression on your face just now? The muscle here just moved, which suggests that you're feeling quite relaxed at the moment. Sijwin, do you do this to help your patients or to better understand human beings? A bit of both, I suppose. I'm a Melusine, which means I'm very different from human beings. I must know what you're thinking if I want to take good care of you. You're really good at taking care of people. Even though you're so short, you still talk and act like an older sister. Really? You're reminded of an older sister?
Meskipun kamu
That's great
pendek,
to hear.
kamu seperti
Oh,
kakak.
and what did you mean back in Risley's office? When you said that you were protecting Linny and his siblings as well? Oh, that. I just asked His Grace to look out for those children, especially that diver boy. I was getting a bit worried after hearing that something was wrong with the water. Thankfully, Clorand is very strong and managed to save him in the nick of time. His Grace also sealed the pipes after Clorand left, to make sure that Linny wouldn't impulsively chase after his brother. Although the path was blocked, we still stationed some guards there to stop anyone from approaching. They were instructed to only open the door once Miss Clorand had returned. Oh, and I was keeping an eye on Mr. Linny as well. We had to press him, but we couldn't allow him to be in any real danger. You were all super considerate and really thought everything through. It's just what we do down here at the fortress. At least this has been His Grace's style for as long as he's been the leader. Oh, I really wish Monsieur Nervula would come down here more often too. I feel like he'd like it here, with all the darkness and chaos. Get a good night's rest, you two. You both worked very hard.
Istirahat di mes. Jadi gue udah istirahat. Apa? Tidur.
So much has happened. Paimon just feels absolutely exhausted now that she's finally relaxed. Paimon's super sleepy. Are you sleepy too?
Iya. What the fuck, Paimon ngorok. Paimon jadi Amimir ya. Amimir aja.
Delicious. Paimon wants seconds for free.
Out of my way! Get out of my way! What happened? Why is everyone running? No idea, but something must have happened. Stop asking!
Who's yelling? Paimon still wants to sleep.
Periksa situasi di luar. Tekan.
Witness my magnificence!
Party bocil. Party Genshin nih, party Genshin sama Bahilo. Party Genshin sama Bahilo. Party keluarga bahagia.
It's time to pull the trigger.
Party keluarga bahagia. Mami ya, Papa Zombie. Dua.
What happened? Why is everyone running around? Hey, what are you doing?
No time to explain, mate. Goodbye.
Hey,
Goodbye.
wait! What's wrong with these people? They won't even talk to us.
They're here! There you are!
Oh, thank goodness!
Quisto and Lavaroon, do you know what happened here?
We came here especially to inform you. Something seems to have gone terribly wrong just now. His Grace is telling everyone to evacuate and get out of here. Lavaroon was saying you two are new here and you don't have many friends, so you might slip through the cracks. Haven't you heard all the stories like that? An evacuation is successfully completed, yet you only find out—
Wait, weren't you the one who brought that up?
Hey, shut up!
Okay, whatever. The point is, you should come with us. Yeah, he said to get as far away as possible, upwards and outwards.
Oh no, it can't be that thing!
Oh, wait, what? What? Hey, where are you going?
Where are you
We
going?
have to go find the Duke! You two just go and get out! Go on without us!
Hey, hey! Be careful!
Hey,
Attention!
careful.
Please evacuate upwards and outwards, upwards
Latihan.
and outwards. If you're
Ada apa
already
nih?
at the topmost layer, then try to move as far outwards as possible.
Lari. Jangan-jangan udah mau meleduk nih benteng.
Attention! Please evacuate upwards and outwards.
Mau meleduk, Cok, bentengnya, Cok. Bentengnya mau meleduk. Lari.
They're here.
Just like I said.
What happened?
Justru guys, ada cutscene.
You're just in time. But
Just-
be ready to run.
Ready to run. Ada cutscene coy. Ada cutscene. Banjir. Cicet. Anjir itu kayak itu kayak Kamen Rider ini senjatanya. Kayak senjata Kamen Rider kayak Kamen Rider yang naga. What the hell? Primordial water. Lari. Bagus banget ini cutscene-nya coy.
3,
Choreographers emang bukan kaleng-kaleng tuh.
1.
Choreographers bukan kaleng-kaleng emang. Iya. Iya.
This won't hold it for long. Find Neuvillette. Tell him the defenses are about to
Sudah
collapse.
hampir tembus.
Until he arrives,
Sampai
we're the
dia
last line
datang,
of defense.
kamilah garis pertahanan. What the hell? Anjir keren banget, Anjir keren banget
The
berdua.
gate. How long do you think it'll hold?
That depends on
Itu
us.
tergantung dengan kita sendiri. Anjir keren banget coy. Keren banget kan?
Neuvillette? Where are you
Neuvillette?
Traveler, I need you to head to the Opera House immediately. Farina will soon be meeting with the knave there. You must protect Farina and make sure she doesn't spend too much time alone with her.
Wow.
Will do. You have my sincerest gratitude.
Oh my god. Pergi ke gedung opera, lari. Ini Farina di sini, ngapain kita cari? Aduh, iya. Farina di sini, ngapain kita cari?
Look! There are a ton of Fatui and Palais Mermonia people over there! The knave is probably here already. We need to hurry!
We need to hurry.
Are you two the traveler in Paimon? Monsieur
Yes.
Neuvillette has left instructions. Please, though I'm sure he's already explained, this should be...
Ya, cepat. Ini konten mau hancur. Nona Farina.
Oh, so you two are the honored guests Miss Farina mentioned.
Of course,
Yeah.
of course! How could they not attend a meeting such as this? I must always have 2 or more guests at my dessert table. Otherwise...
It is my pleasure to make your acquaintance, traveler. I have heard much of your accomplishments. I am the knave, one of the 11 Fatui harbingers.
Senang sekali kira bisa bertemu dengan Guru. Aku sudah mendengarkan tampil terkenal. Aku Jne, salah satu anggota Fatui yang Harbin. Iya, itu.
I've already prepared seats for you. Come,
Sit beside me.
Perhaps you two are unaware of how Miss Farina and I do things. You see, we actually recently agreed to get together for tea when we had the time. See this? This is a limited type of confectionery that Miss Farina simply adores. There are only...
Traveler, what do you think of this cake?
That's good to hear. So what Child said was on the mark after all. You do share a taste in desserts with Farina and I. I wonder how he's doing nowadays. You must have heard, right? He's suddenly gone missing. I'm really worried about his safety, you know. Here's to hoping that...
Since we're talking about him, I feel like I should add something. His martial prowess really looked... certainly pretty impressive, yeah.
Bukan. Sedang Hareya, saya juga mau komen. Dia jago tersebut, ya. Keren sekali tuh. Seperti keren, jauh. Hubungannya dengan tidak sesederhana.
Oh, so you're also familiar with his aptitude for fighting, Miss Farina. Oh, right. I almost forgot. Child was subdued by Udex Nuvillette right in front of you.
Oh, sudah. Oh ya, hampir. Childe dikalahkan Udex Nuvillette tepat di depan gue.
Against ordinary people, my colleague would never be on the back foot. But alas, he just never imagined he'd run into such a person. I must express my admiration for Monsieur Nuvillette.
Monsieur.
Coming from you, that's not surprising at all.
But I thought you would be happier to hear the news.
Matanya regular dan Farina sama sih dari jauh.
Of course, but it's still a bit of a shame. You see, I would have been far happier had I received this news somewhat earlier. As you well know, a long time has passed since Child disappeared.
Well, in any case, there's no need to worry. We know for sure that Child is still alive.
Oh. And just how do you know that?
Because we found out.
And where did he go after leaving the
Well?
The fortress of Meripede lies deep beneath the waves. Ah, that is good news at least. His sister Tonya sent a letter to Fontaine not too long ago, since he was unfortunately unavailable. Do you have any idea how he usually writes back to his family? Dear Tonya, your letter made me feel like we were still enjoying our time in Snezhnaya together. I'm currently admiring the scenery on the streets in front of the opera house. Is it something like that?
Something like that?
All letters tend to follow the same few formats anyway, right? As long as the contents are accurate, it doesn't matter so much how it's written or how it's worded. Huh?
Semua surat ditulis di ditulis tidak Siapa sangka? Siapa sangka? Siapa sangka momen? Screenshot dulu
Hold on. The water in the teacup is
Huh?
shaking.
I suppose this is also a sign of
Kerasanya
things to come.
sultan.
I don't.
Have we entered into the next stage of...
Ada cutscene lagi cuy. Wow.
My thanks to you
Terima
both.
kasih kepada kalian.
I will take it from here.
Holy shit, ada Neophylit telah datang
Sure you don't need a hand?
sendirian.
Quite sure.
Cukup
Wow.
yakin. Wow.
So, what's your secret, huh? Let me guess.
Let me guess.
Nah, who knows? Maybe it's just your sense of responsibility.
Sounds about right.
Masuk akal juga. Bocor. Bocor. Sure. Wanjay. Wanjay. Wanjay.
The day may come when the prophecy is fulfilled and the waters burst forth. But it is not this day. This ancient power could easily obliterate an entire race.
What the
The
fuck,
tsunami of
Michael?
fury would unleash endless catastrophe.
Gila. Monsieur Neophylit. Penjaga fonten.
The sentence is too severe. Forgive me for overruling it.
Monsieur.
All right. Seems like the problem inside has been suppressed.
Let me guess. We're safe for now.
Indeed.
Indeed.
But only for now.
But only for now.
I win this bet. You owe me a present.
Very well. It was indeed just as you said.
You made a bet?
We made a bet on the size of your entourage. Cloran thought you wouldn't come down by yourself.
I figured you would have at least brought a few people along for appearance's sake. It appears I underestimated just how confidential the mission was.
Shouldn't you have gotten used to confidential missions by now? That's just how the courts operate.
So what gift must the loser give? Tea?
Jadi yang kalah harus kasihan.
He already has tons of tea in his office. I'm thinking about a set of legal codices.
That wouldn't happen to be a dig at my lack of legal awareness, would it?
Well, I'm sure His Grace doesn't consider the fortress to be outside the law.
I was under the impression the residents of a place like this would be uninterested in the legal codices.
was obviously a joke. Anyway, you've still got some unfinished business to attend to in the overworld, correct?
No need to stay here if you have a pressing matter. We all know you can't leave Palais Mermonia for long.
Thank you. I hope everything went smoothly with the Fatui Harbinger.
I must say, we've spent long enough playing house. Miss Farina, as the Hydro Archon, I am sure you understand the exact meaning of the phenomenon we just witnessed. Or should I say, that's what I originally thought.
What are you trying to say?
Are you trying to say?
At this point, I don't think there's any more need to speak as diplomatic representatives. Allow me to speak to you now as just a Fontanian. You know the prophecy by heart, and yet, here you are, relaxing, drinking tea, and eating desserts as if it's all nothing more than a few stray bugs in your garden. Do you read the prophecies hanging above our necks like a guillotine? Every faction is looking for a way to either avert the disaster, but you? It beggars belief just how nonchalant and carefree you have been. From the very beginning, you, the god Focalor, you have utterly failed to take action.
Jangan galak-galak
You're
dong.
wrong. I've never ignored the prophecy, nor have I just been passing the time in self-indulgence. Retract your accusation and stop doubting the wisdom of the god.
I am not alone in my doubts, you know. All the children of Fontaine may be harboring the exact same thoughts right now. Oh, great Hydro Archon. How are you going to save them? Save us? How are the people you've sworn to protect supposed to survive in a land that will soon disappear beneath the waves?
I have my ways, and I've been working on them for all this time. Even if you look down upon me, you have no right to judge me. Fontaine will be saved. Even if I still cannot see the true future right now, as long as I continue on as I am, I will be able to hold my head up high.
Then I ask you, Miss Farina, just what have you been working on? Where can we see it, and what is it doing to help?
My machinations are just like the prophecy itself. They will only reveal themselves at...
I see. As a god, the proof of your labor always lies beyond Allow me to be so bold as to ask another way. Would it be possible for you to tell us the parts of your plan that are not confidential? Such as... Oh, that look in your eyes. Have you not even prepared one of those?
The emergency response plan is also strictly
Then allow me to jog your memory. Miss Farina, what is the purpose of your Oratrice Mécanique d'Analyse Cardinal? And what do you plan to do with the massive amounts of indemnitium that has accumulated?
The Oratrice? It's just like it appears to be.
So you also have no idea. If I'm not mistaken, someone's using it to prepare for something. I first caught wind of this when Linny tried to investigate the Oratrice in the Opera House. You see, even just getting close to the core contaminated him with an extremely large amount of indemnitium. But even if that had nothing to do with you, then what could you possibly be working on, oh great Hydro Archon? Right. I almost forgot. Udex Neuvillette is not at the tea party with us today. Miss Farina, I suppose you must have ordered him away to take care of some troublesome business.
Yes, that's exactly right. Please keep it a secret for me.
Of course I will. Although, I must say, Miss Farina, you seem quite insecure without the Udex by your side. Oh, very well. Let's stop that conversation here. There are still a few slices of cake left, so please, help yourselves, everyone. Traveler, I heard that you were recently commissioned to handle a few matters on behalf of the Udex. Why don't you take an extra slice of cake? Those who work hard deserve gratitude and praise. You too, Paimon.
Too bad.
Thank you. Paimon will take you up on that offer. Oh, Paimon's super full. That cake was great.
If it's on my tea table, it must be of the highest quality. Yes, and we must thank the knave for bringing these over as well.
You're welcome. I'm sure the cake also felt greatly honored to be featured at Miss Farina's table. And I was merely catering to Miss Farina's tastes, seeking a chance to chat over tea. It is getting late. Why don't we call it a day? There are still a few matters that I need to take care of, so I must take my leave now.
Very well. We'll end it here.
Mind seeing me off, Traveler? We could use the opportunity to discuss Child before I must be on my way.
Oh, bisa kah? Ntar aku keluar. Sekalian bahas kecil di sebelum aku juga.
Paimon's coming too!
Paimon coming too. Lah ada ruangan di sini aja baru tahu. Saya baru tahu. Ada ruangan di sini. Baru tahu. Sebelumnya nggak bisa. Kok nembak?
Go!
I'm glad that you were willing to come with me. Of course, Child was just an excuse. I have no interest in your dealings with him.
That's what Paimon thought.
Sweat dengan.
You lent your aid to the children of the House of the Hearth. As their father, I would like to express my gratitude. Do I look like an irresponsible father to you? The House of the Hearth is very important to me. You should know that I care deeply about my That was all. Formal topics should be discussed in formal settings, and informal topics in informal settings. I know you just returned from the fortress of Meripede. Relax. I have no intention of trying to get anything out of you. Linny, Lynette, and Fremine are still there, and I trust their judgment and abilities.
They've all been working very hard and have always done all they can to fight back against anyone who tried to stop them, especially Linny.
You mean Wriothesley. He's a tricky one to deal with. It's unfortunate that Linny's so eager to prove himself that he can't learn to rely on others, including me. By the way, and you can just consider this a bit of idle gossip, but what's your impression of Farina? You are outside of our disputes, and the freest person in all of Fontaine, able to move around most easily. Allow me to share my perspective with you.
And that's everything that happened during the trial. Master Child was declared guilty and immediately transported to the Fortress of Meropide.
Didn't he say he was coming here on vacation? Does he not feel an ounce of shame for all the trouble he has caused? Forget it. He did give us an opportunity. I will be meeting someone shortly.
Do you require help with any preparations?
No need. I will take care of it myself. I need to meet with Farina, a Hydro Archon. She is at the heart of Fontaine. But what's fascinating about her is that she often seems more like a celebrity than a working Archon.
Oh, come over here, you little critter, you! You dare to run from me? Stop right this instant!
My goal is just to discover the location of the Gnosis. But I didn't expect the chance to approach Farina to be handed to me on a silver platter. This is so anything left unguarded is usually just bait. But no one will blame someone for taking... It's just as I guessed in the second before I struck. The Hydronosis is not currently held by the In fact, this Archon doesn't seem like a god at all. And I sense that she's under some kind of curse.
Who are you? And what are you trying to do? Please don't kill me! I'm begging you, please!
The fear in her pupils is genuine, so perhaps she's not bait after all. Either way, I left the scene with ease. Nobody came looking for me, and nobody could serve as a witness to my near assassination of Focalor. I suspect even Farina dares not mention this incident to anyone. Not long after, my informants confirmed what I had guessed. After returning to her quarters, Farina... There's no doubt that there's something wrong. I have to...
Yes, Father.
My dear children, please speak.
News from the Fortress of Meropide. Master Child...
Probably the handiwork of...
I'm afraid so.
This is a good opportunity. Set up a meeting. Oh! And
yes, Father.
Tartaglia's disappearance was not a part of my plan, but I can use it to make a breakthrough. The initiative belongs to the House of the Hearth. My wish to investigate the Fortress of
It's the end. It is the end.
You should know the rest. Lenny's group is quite close to you, so they...
You attacked the Hydro Archon?
It wouldn't mean anything, even if you shouted it from the rooftops. After all, even for... I've now had 2 chances to enjoy tea with Farina. I have to say, the leadership of Fontaine is even more inscrutable than I had imagined. I once surmised that I am a servant of Her Majesty the Tsaritsa. Over my years of service, I've learned how a real Archon conducts and carries themselves. Whether Eudex Neuvillette or Farina, neither. Of course, that is all just how I feel. Gut feelings often do not require justification. It is, however, quite amusing to me that after all my years working in intelligence gathering, I've come to realize I am at a complete loss regarding the identity of the god of the land of my birth. Don't you think Fontaine is quite intriguing? A catastrophe looms, yet many secrets have yet to rise to the surface.
What?
It looks like Fontainians will have no choice but to save themselves. Ultimately, though, one must survive in order to do anything else. Should the need arise, I would be happy to cooperate with you. You don't need to commit to anything right now, of course. I have a feeling that the situation will continue to evolve, and as your name is often connected with noble deeds, I'm sure we will work together someday.
Hmm.
He certainly returned quickly.
Neverlet, is it
For now, yes. But this issue will prove quite thorny in the long
Curi dalam
term.
daging.
I'm concerned that sooner or later the prophesized events. Thank you for protecting Farina.
Mana tahu apa?
To put it simply, I used my power to force back the primordial sea and reseal the sluice. So as expected, the knave has turned up the pressure on Farina. Permission granted.
Permission granted.
Whoa. It can't be that you're... You can't tell us?
If by the phrase "you guys" you are referring to Farina and I, then although I'm not sure just what you are trying to imply, I must clarify that I do not share her positions on a multitude of topics. I believe so. The fortress has a long and complex history. It has seen much grief and suffering. And now, another catastrophe will soon be upon us. I mourn this turn of events.
Huh? Why is it raining all of a sudden?
Anjir, tiba-tiba hujan coy. Barusan Yuffie bilang dia New Village lagi sedih coy. Setiap New Village sedih, fonten hujan.
You may be closer to the truth than you think.
Oh? And what are you thinking?
Dia naga hydro, penguasa air. Nah.
Huh?
Please do not be so surprised. Farina?
Farina?
Neverlet, are you listening?
My apologies.
My apologies.
We were just guessing randomly. We didn't guess right, did we? You're not actually the dragon sovereign of water, right? Well, if you don't want to confirm or deny...
You guessed correctly. I sincerely hope you'll be able to keep this a secret for me.
Right, of course. We'll definitely help you keep it a secret. There's still something Paimon wants to ask you, though.
Please, go ahead.
Please go.
Well, if you are the dragon sovereign of water, and you were able to force back the primordial sea from the fortress, then since Fontaine's prophecy is all about seawater, couldn't you just use your power to solve the crisis?
None of the currently living dragon sovereigns in the world, myself included, possess our full dragonhood. They say that when the first usurper arrived on Tivat, they seized a part of the dragon's power. Today, that stolen power is the basis of the Archon's authorities.
There are 7 elemental archons and 7 matching dragon sovereigns.
The dragon sovereign of water who lived through that era perished a long time ago. As their successor, I know far less of that part of our ancient... In any case, I believe I will not be able to do much unless the Archon disappears and returns their elemental authority to me. Given the status quo, however, I would recommend finding another way to deal.
Oh, so even you can...
I still have some urgent matters to attend to at my office. If you have any more questions regarding ancient history, you
please go right ahead. There's a place that Paimon wants to go too. Traveler, why don't we pay another visit to the Fortress of Meripede? Paimon is a little worried. We'll see you another time.
See you
Take
another
care.
time. Take care. Take care. Apakah sudah mau selesai? Apa nih? Sisa-sisa zaman kuno. Mengetahui identitas asli New Village. Gimana coy? Ini gimana coy? Lokasi quest sedang terlibat dalam quest lain. Silakan melihat rinciannya. Di tengah kumpulan ahli, satu lokasi terlibat dalam. Oh my god. Oke guys, kalau begitu sepertinya streaming hari ini sampai sini saja ya. Sepertinya sampai sini saja. Pam 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 pam. Sampai sini saja ya. Kita bertemu streaming Genshin yang akan datang. Sampai jumpa. Bye bye. Bye bye.